Nathan's story. Some interesting facts about this story. First of all, you may find it interesting that Bathsheba had given birth to her child about a year before this event. In the past, I'd always thought maybe she had just had the child or was just about to have it. But oh no, she had become David's wife. They had formed a family along with the other wives. And the child was at least a year old, could be upwards to 2-year-old. God was patient in dealing with David, but it finally came. Also, I have a personal theory about this story. As I have said in the past, I believe that David, as a young man, was inspired by the stories of Samson. Samson had only died just a few years before David. And I'm sure as a young man, he enjoyed the stories of bravery and confidence and killing the Philistines and all that kind of things. And I believe that was what became the basis of David trusting the Lord and becoming confident in battle. He wanted to be like Samson, except for his weakness. And when Nathan the prophet confronted David, and he had to come to the realization that not only had he followed the strengths of Samson, but also his weakness, how he dealt with women. I think it devastated David. From this story on, David has lost his confidence, has lost his drive. I think it totally devastated him that he had followed Samson in this same sin. I told this story in a maximum security prison a while back. I had a group of inmates. Most of them were there because of hideous crimes, murder, rape, and all kinds of things, and most of them were there for life. I got done telling the story, and there was a man across the room from me that was listening to the story, and we had a discussion afterwards, and finally it was time to end, and they left the room, except that man came right straight towards me and got close to me and said, "I want to tell you how this story has impacted my life." Well, I wondered why he hadn't shared that when all of us were talking about it, but I'll let him share it with me. He said, "I know what I had done was wrong. What brought me to this prison, I know I had committed a great crime and a sin before God. But at this prison, I came to Christ. My life has been changed, and I have begged God to get me out of here. I said, I'm a different man. If you let me out, give me a chance to go home to my family and be a positive influence with my friends and my children. I have begged God." But your story made me realize that I need to move on. This is my life. I'll be here for the rest of it. And like David, I need to get up, take a bath, put on some clean clothes, go into the temple and worship, then come out and get something to eat. Because that baby, the baby of me getting out of this prison, that baby is dead. And I need to move on. him sharing that with me greatly moved me. I'll never look at this story the same without thinking of that man who this story moved to accept that his sin, even though forgiven, still has consequences. I trust you'll come back next week and join us again.